Hello, my name's Amanda and I run Quilted Dragon kits. I design kits in patchwork and also embroidery, and today I'm just going to show you a little bit of one of my latest designs, which is the fern crewel embroidery, and I'll just show you that there, put that there if you can see that. So it uses lots of different techniques. Crewel embroidery is basically wool on any fabric. In this case we're doing it on linen, so I'm just going to work on one of the small leaves down the bottom here. Okay, I've already put the part of it in. It's a trellis, and I use trellis an awful lot in a lot of my designs. You'll find that if you see any of my designs, there's usually a trellis in there. It's one of my favourite stitches. But I've already done it. A basic trellis uses 2 layers of parallel threads, but in this one we're using 3 layers of threads. So first 2 layers are already down, and I'm about to put the 3rd layer in now. So this is quite straightforward. So wherever they're crossing, we're just going to come up and just go back down. So it's going to form like little triangular shapes. It's quite a good technique for filling in large areas. That's why I quite like it. You can do all sorts of other little stitches where in the little gaps you can add French knots. You could also add beads. Quite a decorative technique. So you see I'm just working on these straight stitches, just breaking it up. Okay, so you can see there I've put in that final layer, and all we need to do now is we need to do something just to anchor these together, just to hold them down. So I've got a slightly different coloured thread now, and where they all cross I'm just going to work a very simple holding stitch. You can use this stitch to almost just, if you've made slight mistakes as well, it just helps to correct it, just helps to pull it in. Try to bring in quite a few different stitches in my kits. I don't think it'd be very enjoyable if I stuck to just one stitch. So most of the kits use some of the very traditional ones that people are mostly familiar with, things like French knots, stem stitch, chain stitch, but also adding in, bringing something a bit different like the trellis. Also use fly stitch, herringbone. All very traditional stitches though. Okay, just coming to the end of this little section. Okay, now all we need to do is to complete this leaf is to edge it. So for this I'm going to do a stem stitch, and I'm going to do something a bit different. I'm using 2 shades together at once in the needle. So it's going to give a little bit of variegated colour as we go round. So it's quite straightforward, so come up at the point. Hold the thread out of the way. Go down. I want to come up about halfway between the 2 stitches. Just pull that up. Okay. Same again, hold it to the side. Needle down. As you can see, as you work the 2 colours together, they sort of twist on each other, which gives it a mottled effect, which works really well with something like this design, which is the autumn fern, so it's just helps to give it the autumn look. As you can see, it's quite a good stitching technique, this crewel embroidery. It fills up quite quickly, so you can get quite an area done quite speedily. we go, just coming to the very end, doing the last stitch. So there you go. So that's that little section completed. So that's the trellis with the stem stitch edge to it. So that's just one of the small leaves of the fern crewel embroidery kit.